So, hello everyone and welcome back to our Python programming course. In the previous video, we learned about object-oriented programming, including classes, constructors, and methods. Today, we are going to learn about exception handling, an important concept that help us program deal with error gracefully. No matter how carefully we write our code, error can still happen. A user might enter valid input, a file might not exit, or a calculation may try to divide by 0. Instead of letting our program crash, Python allows us to handle these situations using exception handling. By the end of this lesson, you will understand how to use try, expect, accept, else, finally, and raise to make your program more reliable. So let's get started. So first slide is exception handling in Python. So introduction. Imagine you are using an ATM. You are insert your card accidentally and enter the wrong pin. Instead of crashing, the ATM displays a message like incorrect pin. Please try again. This is an example of exception handling. The system detects the problem, informs the user, and continues to work properly. Python follows the same idea. Instead of stopping the program when an error occurs, we can catch the error and respond appropriately. This makes us application more user friendly and reliable. So second slide is a learning objective. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand exception and runtime errors, use try and accept blocks, handle multiple exception, learn about else, and finally raise custom exceptions and write more robust Python programs. Let's first understand what an exception actually is. So the third slide is what is exception. An exception is an error that occurs while programming is running. These are known as runtime errors. For example, is Python 10/0. Python cannot divide a number by 0. So it's produced zero division error, division by 0. It is the error is not handled, the program immediately stopped. Exception handling allows us to catch such error and continue running the program whenever possible. Some common causes of exception are dividing by 0, entering invalid input, accessing a list index and that doesn't exist, trying to open a file that isn't available. So the fourth slide is a try and accept. Python handle exception using try and accept blocks. The basic syntax is try, risky code, accept, handle error. Let's see an example. Try name equal to 10/0. Exception 0 accept 0 division error. Print cannot divide by 0. So the output is cannot divide by 0. Here what happens, Python first execute the code inside the try block. If no error occurs, the program continues normally. If an exception occurs, Python immediately jump to the matching excepts block and executes it. That prevent the program from crashing. So the fifth slide is handling multiple exceptions. Sometimes different type of error can occur. We can handle each one separately. Example, try number equal to int input, enter a number, result equal to 10/number, accept value error, print invalid input, accept 0 division error, print cannot divide by 0. Suppose the user enters text ABC, so Python cannot convert into an integer, so that output becomes invalid input. If the user enters 0, the output becomes the text is cannot divide by 0. So handling different exceptions separately makes program easier to understand and debug. So the sixth slide is else and finally. Python also provides else and finally blocks. The else block execute only if no exception occurs. The finally block always execute whenever an exception occurs or not. So the example is try, print program running, accept print error, else print no errors, finally print execution finished. So the output is a program running, no errors, execution finished. The finally block is often used to close files, release resources, or perform cleanup operation. So the slide 7 is a raising exception. Sometimes we want to generate our own exception. Python allows this using the raise keyword. Example, age equal to -5. If age less than equal to 0, raise value error. Age cannot be negative. If the age is negative, Python raise a value error with our custom message. This is useful when validating user input. For example, we can prevent user from entering invalid ages, negative prices, or incorrect passwords. Using arrays help us detect incorrect data early in the program. So the eighth slide is a common Python exception. Let's look at some common exception you will encounter. Zero division error occurs when dividing by 0, 10/0. So value error occurs when a value has the correct type but an invalid value. Example is int abc. Type error occurs when incompatible data types are used together. So example is 5 plus hello. Index error so occurs when accessing an index outside a list. Example is numbers equal to 1 comma 2, print number 5. Key error occur when a dictionary key does not exist. For example, a student equal to name colon alias. So print student is. File not found error occurs when opening a file does not exist. For example, open data.txt. Understanding these common exceptions will help us you debug your programs more effectively. So the ninth slide is complete example. Let's combine everything we have learned. Python try number equal to int input, enter a number, print 10/number, accept zero division error, print cannot divide by 0, accept value error, print please enter a valid number, finally print program finished. Suppose the user enters text 5, output is a text 20.0, program finished. If the user enters 0, the program displays cannot divide by 0. If the user enter ABC, it displays please enter a valid number. In every case, the finally block execute and prints program finished. A common mistake beginner make is using a very broad except block everywhere. Instead, try to catch specific exception whenever possible. This makes debugging much easier. So the last slide is a summary next steps. So let's quickly revise today's lesson. We learned that exceptions are runtime errors that occurs while a program is executing. We saw how the try block contains code that might cause an error, while the except block handles that error without crashing the program. We also explored multiple except blocks, the else block run times when no exception occurs, and the finally block that always executes. Finally, we learned how to create our own exception using the raise keyword and reviewed some common Python exceptions like zero division error, value error, type error, index error, key error, and file not found error. So exception handling is an essential skill because it makes your programs more reliable, user friendly, and easier to maintain. So practice writing a small program with different types of exception so you become comfortable handling errors. In the next video, we'll learn about file handling in Python. You will discover how to create read, write, and message files, allowing your programs to store data permanently. Thank you for watching this lesson. Keep practicing, keep experimenting, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coding!